Hey guys, welcome back. I hope everyone is having a great week. I have gotten quite a few requests from parents and even just some of my regular followers to teach you guys some braids on other people. I've actually had a couple of dads asking so that they can be able to do their daughter's hair. So today, instead of doing hair on myself, I have my little model here with me, and I'm going to teach you how to do some braids on others. So we're going to walk through that today. Okay guys, I have my Miss Mannequin here with me to model for you. I am going to work on the back of her head to start with, just to show you guys some basic braids. Before you're going to start doing someone else's hair, especially kiddos, make sure you have all of your tools with you. I have my wet brush. I have some of the Keune Too Faced spray. That's a leave-in conditioner to kind of help that hair be a little less staticky and easier to manage. And then I also have some little rubber bands. So we are all set on our tools. I'm first going to just spray her hair all over with the Keune Too Faced spray, and then I'm going to brush her with my wet brush.
Why don't you wanna show me off? Tell me why you couldn't try and be me.
Okay, so that is done. She's all combed out. You can see that Too Faced added some nice shine to her hair as well. But now I won't have all of this static to deal with, which makes it a lot easier to stay organized and get a nice clean braid. I use the wet brush on her, and if you don't have one, message me because they're amazing. I use them on myself at home, but especially for your kiddos, they are really nice to have. The tines on them are actually very, very thin and flexible, so they are a lot gentler on your hair when combing out those knots. My little sister Heidi, she has long hair. She hates combing her hair because it's always so tangly and it pulls, and the wet brush is Heidi approved. So if any of you know my little sister, you know if it's Heidi approved, it's something good. We are going to do just our basic 3-strand braid first. So we are going to just pick up a nice section of hair. You could do this in the back of their hair, like a half up, half down. You could do this through a fringe area by their face. Very, very simple. You're going to split your section into 3 equal pieces. Just like so, 3 pieces. And then I'm just going to take my outer pieces and I'm going to go over each middle piece. So I went over, now this piece becomes the middle. I'm coming over again. Now that becomes the middle. I'm going over again. Now this becomes the middle. Going over again. And you can start to see that braid forming. We're going to go over again. And then again. And we can do this all the way down.
Why don't you wanna show me off? Tell me why you couldn't try and be me here.
Now that's just your basic 3-strand braid. You can also go under the middle and get a very similar look. So I'll kind of go back up here to the top and show you what that looks like. Again, I have my 3 pieces, but instead of going over the middle, now I'm going to come under the middle. Under, now this is the center, then I come under, now this is the center, I come under, and then I come under again, and again. I think the under is a little easier just when you're doing this type of 3-strand because the ergonomics are a little simpler. You're just twisting a lot. And you can see very similar look, but we went under the middle instead of going over. You'll get a little variation in how this top looks. Now we could leave this tight like this. You guys will also see me in a lot of videos. I'll use my pointer finger and thumb to kind of grab the meat of that braid and pull it out just a bit. Sorry guys, I'm trying to make sure you can see what I'm doing while I'm doing it. And now that braid has a whole different effect to it. You could take a 3-strand braid like this from the front and bring it around to the side like so. You can pull this braid different directions. You could do a few of them together into a ponytail. Really can get some fun looks just from this simple braid. Now we're going to talk about when we take that 3-strand braid and make it a French braid or a Dutch French braid. That is usually where things seem to get a little lost in translation. So now we will go over that. If you are just doing a section of the hair, or let's say you're doing half of a head, get the hair that you're not working with out of the way. Section it off and put it in a ponytail so you can't grab into it at all. In this case, I am just working down the center back of her head, so I'm going to take these sides and get them out of my way.
Why don't you wanna wake this up? How come you always leave me on? Never take my call, hear me out. Why don't you wanna win me now? Why don't you wanna show me off? Tell me.
So just like with our 3-strand braid, we're going to start with 3 pieces. 1, 2, 3 pieces. 1, 2, 3. Okay? We're going to start this braid exactly the same. I'm going to go over the center. Now that becomes the center, and I'm going to go over the center. But this is where we change. So I explain it to my guests like an old lady crossing the street. She can't go across the middle by herself. So we are going to add a little bit of hair from this side of the braid. We're not crossing our center line. So I've added a little bit of hair. Now I'm going to go across the middle. Okay, now this becomes my middle. Again, I have a piece that's crossing the middle here, see, going across the middle, but she can't go across the street by herself. So we're going to add hair. Now I have a thicker piece, and then I'm going to go across the middle. Now again, I have a piece that's ready to go across the middle, but I'm going to add some hair and then bring it across the street. Now you can start to see my French braid forming. Again, I'm getting ready to go across the middle, so I'm going to add hair and then bring it across. You can see my braid is staying really nice and organized here within my line because I got that hair out of my way. I'm ready to go across the middle again. So I'm going to add hair and come across the middle. Now I'm holding my hands a little bit differently just so that you guys can see what I'm doing, but I'm almost like pushing against her head with the meat of my hand or the back of my hand. That way I'm stabilizing that braid and keeping it tight. Because you always want to start your braids a little tighter versus looser, because the looser they are, the more they will fall out. We can always go back and pull this braid out and loosen it up, but once it's in there, the only way really to tighten it up is to go back and re-braid it. I'm just continuing all the way down her head. You'll notice I'm keeping my braid traveling or pulling in the direction I want it to lay. We're coming straight down the back of her head. So I am keeping that line traveling down the back of her head. If I started pulling it to the side over here, my line is going to come to the side instead of traveling in a straight line. Almost down. Across the middle. Now you can see I'm out of hair, so we just go back into our 3-strand braid. Across the middle, across the middle, across the middle, all the way down. And now you can see, just by adding hair before we go across the middle, we have made a French braid. One more today, I'm going to show you a French Dutch braid. So you'll remember on our 3-strand braid, we did one where we went over the middle, and we did one where we went under the middle. This is a French braid, but instead of going over, we're going under. We're still keeping our hair we're working with pre-sectioned. We're starting with 3 pieces still. And you'll see when I pick up those pieces, I kind of comb through them a little bit with my fingers. That's just gonna help keep me from getting any weird bubbles in them at all. So we said we're doing the exact same thing, but instead of going over the middle, we're going under the middle. We're going under the middle again. Now, just like with our French braid, we're getting ready to bring some hair across the middle. So we're going under this time, but we're getting ready to bring some hair across the center line so our old lady can't cross the street by herself. So we're gonna add a little bit of hair to that, give it a little comb, and then go under our middle piece. Okay? This one takes a little bit longer to be able to see the braid, so if it looks weird at first, don't worry, it's going to. Again, we have hair ready to go under the middle. Our old lady can't cross the street by herself, so we're going to add some hair, give it a quick comb, and go under. Again, we're ready to go under the middle, so we add some hair, give it a comb, and go under our middle. We can see that again. Adding some hair, going under the middle. Adding some hair, going under the middle.
How come you always leave me or never take my call? Hear me out. Why don't you wanna win me now? Why don't you wanna show me off? Tell me why you couldn't try and leave me. One day soon, I will be the one who insult you. Someday soon, I will be the one who insult you.
And then, just like on the last one, we just go into our regular 3-strand braid when we run out of hair.
You don't want me now. How come you always leave me or never take my call? Hear me out. Why don't you wanna win me now?
So now you can see our French Dutch braid is sitting almost on top of her hair instead of being woven into it. And that's how you get that different look. Now this is a pretty tight one. We could leave it tight like this, or we could actually come through and do our pinch and pull this out a little bit. When you see like Instagram Dutch braids, most of the time they're gonna be kind of pulled out like this. So I'm just pinching the meat of that hair, and it's gonna give it a lot fuller look. Like so. So you can see she has a nice, pretty Dutch braid. Alright guys, I hope that helps. That's all I'm gonna throw at you for today. So go practice, message me if you have questions, comment as well. I know that's a little harder to see what I'm doing when I'm doing it on someone else or something else. So comment with any questions you have. If you guys need a wet brush in your life or some of the Keune Too Faced spray to help control that hair, shoot me a message, and be sure to like and subscribe and follow me on social media. And you'll stay up to date and won't miss out on a thing. Have a good day, guys.
Why don't you wanna win me now?